BTG spoiler alert. Here are your Beyond the Gates spoilers for the week of Monday, September 15th to Friday, September 19th, 25. Be sure to tune in to CBS every weekday to see how everything plays out in Fairmont Crest. Vernon springs into action to thwart an interloper. Derek has a big decision to make concerning his future. Eva is rocked to see her father in such distress. June's new job has her doubting herself. Nicole debates her treatment of Ted while he deals with an unwelcome reality check. Tyrell and Samantha clash, which leaves Martin and Smitty to deal with the fallout. Leslie one-ups the Duprees. Naomi and Jacob help a friend. Wednesday, September 17th. Haley hatches a seductive plan to spark some jealousy in Bill. Ashley drops an unexpected bombshell on Andre and Anita. Proposes a game-changing idea to help Kat and Chelsea. Thursday, September 18th. Tomas has big plans for a romantic evening with Kat. Andre has a mysterious challenge for Danny. Vanessa is stunned by Joey's offer, while Doug has uncovered a way to make the casino kingpin pay for his sins. Nicole learns something deeply disturbing, while Anita and Vernon grow increasingly worried about the state of affairs in their family. Vanessa spies Bill and Joey with their heads together and demands answers. "Hey babes, welcome back to Gossip Delight. It's your girl Daisy, and trust me, today's tea is scorching, steam, and absolutely unmissable. Buckle up, because we're diving straight into the drama." Here's what went down Friday, September 12th, 2025, on Beyond the Gates. When familiar couples had old conflicts, Chelsea weighed cocooning versus butterflying, and Danny and Bill continued bonding. On Beyond the Gates, Danny texted Andre from the country club, wondering why he was late. Bill approached her table, but she would only let him join her after hearing that his persistent wife was at home. Bill felt that Danny was glowing. She called it her aftermath attire, and the exes reflected that they had always been better doing battle together than against each other. As in the case of uniting during Chelsea's kidnapping ordeal, they couldn't fathom what Chelsea had been through, and Danny predicted that Chelsea would return to the fashion world once she felt safe again. Bill affirmed that he loved his daughters and was amazed that Chelsea had been afraid to tell him about her sexual identity. Danny wasn't so sure. Bill remembered a posing of those clowns Chelsea had brought around in high school, but he did like Madison, the ex-Mrs. Hamilton joked about Bill maybe wanting to investigate Madison's family to be sure she was good enough for Chelsea, and reminisced about how Bill had put up a fuss when Naomi had started dating lowly cop Jacob. Bill asserted he was capable of change, and Danny concurred. Danny and Bill took hands as she thanked him for helping her through another crisis. Bill waited for the other shoe to drop when Danny marveled at how they, as exes, were able to have a civil, mature conversation. Danny smiled that Bill was probably using her to keep from going home, since she had witnessed him telling Haley to stay out of family business while Chelsea was unaccounted for. Bill chalked that up to the heat of the moment, and the two laughed as they recalled Danny's philosophy that apology jewelry needed to cost a week's salary. Andre received Danny's text at the hospital. When he saw Ashley and inquired how things were going with Derek, she answered, "We're figuring it out." Derek wheeled himself out of his room and overheard Ashley telling Andre that there was no way to tell what Derek's future would look like, and admitting that, were it not for their silly misunderstanding, Ashley might be involved with Andre instead of Derek. Ashley considered it fate that she had misunderstood about Andre breaking up with Danny, and as Derek listened, she said Derek would be alone if she and Andre had gotten together. Once Derek circled away, Ashley went on that she and Derek had reconnected in ways she hadn't thought possible. Andre saw a parallel to him and Danny pulling together while Chelsea was missing. He thanked Ashley for teaching him to be mindful of others' needs. Ashley was grateful that Andre had shown her that there was more to experience in life than she had originally envisioned. They decided they'd see each other around, and Andre left after a pregnant pause. Arriving at the country club, Andre told Bill that he was in his seat. Things got chilly as Bill reported that Nicole had brought him up to speed about Andre and Danny and lamented that he'd needed to be updated about the women in his life. "Ooh, is that what I am?" Danny chirped. After Danny laid out that her private life was no longer Bill's business, Bill fired back that Danny always felt free to comment on his. Andre watched the tension and told Danny they needed to have the X chat once Bill excused himself. Danny maintained that she and Bill had only been talking about his desire to be more present in his daughters' lives and sussed out that the jealous Andre had had a run-in with his own ex. Andre conceded that he had seen Ashley. Danny snarked that Ashley wasn't even an ex because she and Andre had never actually been a couple, but she genuinely deemed Derek lucky when Andre described how devoted Ashley had been to Derek since Derek's accident. They agreed that they both had gained perspectives from recent tragedies, but Danny got tired of talking and wondered why they were lolling about the club. They went back to Danny's house and got naked. Naomi had made breakfast for Chelsea, but she still hadn't felt like eating in the fallout of her captivity. Nor was Chelsea's heart in going through Naomi's wardrobe and determining what should be given away. Chelsea couldn't shake the feeling something bad was going to happen. Naomi assured her sister that the entire family would hold her up until she could do so herself. Though Naomi advocated for Chelsea taking her time to decide how to go forward, Chelsea was frustrated that she had no idea what that looked like. Chelsea didn't disagree with Naomi's assessment that she always wanted to burst out as a fully formed butterfly, but she did share that she didn't know if she desired to be the center of attention anymore. She wanted her privacy back after Allison had memorized so many details about her life. Naomi suggested that Chelsea give herself more time before making major decisions about anything, and talk turned to the prospect of Chelsea having to face Allison in court. When Naomi scoffed that Allison had wanted to retain her legal services, Chelsea hoped that Naomi had accepted. Naomi picked up that Chelsea wanted her to rig the case so that Allison would be ensured jail time, and pointed out that representing her sister's kidnapper would be a conflict of interest. The lawyer saw that Chelsea was concerned about Allison getting off on an insanity plea, but foresaw Allison spending years in a mental facility should that result occur. Chelsea still worried about stalkers in general. Naomi rued that they were part and parcel to being a woman and walking the planet. Chelsea was sickened that millions of women were being stalked on and offline, and wondered what she could do in light of having experienced it. Naomi knew that Chelsea couldn't be who she had been before her kidnapping, but divined that Chelsea would emerge a whole new version of herself. When Naomi didn't think that Chelsea walking away from being an influencer would make her feel happy or safe, Chelsea reckoned that she'd be giving Allison the power by taking that action. Bill came to see his girls and asked Naomi for an update on her life. Naomi told Bill about June and how she'd been helping to get the homeless woman on her feet. Bill was stunned when Naomi informed him that June had turned out to be Tyrell and Samantha's biological mother. Chelsea had heard about June from Samantha. Bill wondered if Smitty and Martin needed a protective order against June. Naomi replied that the situation was under control, and Bill vowed that he was going to be so involved in her and Chelsea's lives that they were going to be begging him for space. At Orphe Jean's, Tomas asked Kat about Chelsea. Kat reported that her cousin was the same, and that she was at a loss as to how to help her. She was at least glad that Madison could provide Chelsea love with no filter. Like us, Tomas replied. Kat felt their relationship had been challenging, but Tomas smiled that that was where the fun lay, especially since he had gone where no man had gone before. Kat said she was enjoying their journey as much as he was, and Tomas was intent on finding a way to blow Kat's mind in the bedroom. Eva walked in as Kat and Tomas kissed and sat herself at their table, saying her matter couldn't wait. It was something Kat would want to hear. Kat resisted Eva's presence, even after Tomas reminded his girlfriend that Eva was technically part of her family. "The floor is yours, drama queen," Kat finally sighed as Eva made ready to leave. Eva apologized about Leslie trying to buy the house across from the Duprees, but Kat spat that Eva was only running interference for Leslie. Tomas didn't think it was fair of Kat to smirk that Eva was sucking up to Ted and doing Leslie's bidding at the same time. "Sorry is not an eraser," Kat responded when Eva exasperatedly went over how many times she had apologized. "No amount of DNA can erase what you did." Eva gave up and left, after which Tomas disapproved of Kat's mean girl era. Kat frowned and said the only way Eva could prove she'd changed would be to emancipate herself from Leslie, which Kat was sure Eva would never do. Tomas reiterating Kat that she and Eva shared a father really set her off. What it is about little evil adjacent that's turned you and my dad? Do downtrodden women appeal to your Captain Save-A-Ho instincts? Kat got up to leave as Tomas tried to impress on her that Eva wanted a family. Take your pity for that basic bitch and choke on it, Kat seethed, leaving the diner. Tomas invited Eva to join him after they locked eyes. He brought up Eva's request to represent Leslie, but she appeared to change her mind, seeing that he would lose his job and his girlfriend if he took Leslie's case. The young attorney said he enjoyed being with Kat, but added that she changed when she wasn't fully in control of something, and it was starting to wear on him. Samantha brought a boy to Kat and Chelsea's guest house, which she explained was her office, since she was representing Chelsea Kat. While they talked about working on an English project for school, the boy flirted with Samantha, who blushed. After they got to work, the boy said he hadn't started his research, so Samantha gave him her notes and opted to take care of the accompanying slideshow. The boy noticed that Samantha had already done most of the work and deemed her his secret weapon. To thank Samantha, the boy invited her to a party that he and his brother were organizing through their burgeoning event planning business. Having Samantha there as a model and a Dupree, he enthused, would be next level. Samantha said yes and saw the boy's point about them being able to hang out in a different environment. The teens started to flirt, and the boy leaned in to kiss Samantha, who responded more aggressively until Kat came in and demanded that her niece start talking. Kat viewed Samantha's suitor as out of her league and wanted the boy gone. After he obliged, Samantha protested that Kat had given her permission to use the guest house, but Kat railed that that didn't include bringing randoms in who only wanted one thing. Samantha promised not to ever talk to a boy again as long as Kat didn't rat her out to her dad's. Kat counseled Samantha that she needed to have friends over at her own home with proper supervision. Samantha calmed and admitted that she just hadn't wanted to put the boy through parental interrogation. Samantha added that she had only recently been allowed to date, despite all of her friends having boyfriends. Kat understood and said she'd stay quiet on the condition that Samantha tell Martin and Smitty what had happened on her own. Samantha gave her word, but complained that Kat acted like Martin at times. After Kat left, Samantha invited the boy back. He was surprised that her aunt hadn't sent her to juvie. Samantha claimed Kat was just having a bad day and coyly asked him what they had been doing before they were interrupted, the romantic tension thick. Ava was touched by how readily Tomas always stood up for her, but suggested he stop for Kat's sake. Tomas groused that Kat didn't realize how much Eva kept Leslie in check, and was just saying that Eva didn't get the credit she deserved as Kat re-entered the diner. She watched as Eva took Tomas's hand in response to him labeling her a good person. When Tomas put his hand on Eva's, Kat turned around and walked out. Derek was jovial when Ashley came to check on him and said he was lucky to have her. Ashley demurred when Derek continued that he had never thought he could love her more, yet rallied when Derek called himself a disaster. The duo each attributed Derek's accident with teaching them what was important and with bringing them closer than they had been before. Ashley became pensive, wondering about fate and parallel universes and what-ifs. Derek replied that he didn't think about those because he didn't want to ponder worlds that Ashley wasn't in. He called Ashley his one and only, but Ashley seemed to shrink from the statement and went on her rounds. Ashley had Jan meet her at the diner. Jan was none too pleased that she'd had to leave work just to talk about Derek versus Andre again. Jan saw that Ashley was still thinking about Andre despite having reunited with Derek. Ashley exclaimed that she came alive whenever she was around Andre. "You are hardly the first to have butterflies over the edgy guy," Jan advised. Ashley was torn because Derek was everything she thought she wanted, and Andre represented new possibilities. Jan asked Ashley whose stories she'd never get bored with, and who she pictured still being around in 50 years. Ashley saw Jan's point about Derek's reliability, but still felt pulled towards Andre. Jan said Ashley had a big decision to make. Back at the hospital, Derek dug his knuckles into his thigh. He was about to tell the arriving Ashley what he had discovered when she cut in and acknowledged that she had treated him like an invasive species when he had moved in. She saw how unfair it was that she had expected him to acclimate to her way of living, and remarked that everything always led her back to him. "You are where I belong, Derek," Ashley declared. She dropped to one knee and asked him to marry her. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Monday, September 15th, hint that Vernon Dupree will deal with an intruder, while Derek Baldwin will respond to Ashley Morgan's wedding proposal. After a chat with her mom, Jan Morgan, Ashley made a bold move during the Friday, September 12th episode by proposing to her ex-boyfriend. All arrows are pointing to Derek saying, yes, so the two will likely decide on wasting no time and having a quickie wedding. With that said, all arrows are also pointing to the fact that Derek will continue lying about his progress, so there's that too. The truth will probably come out right before the most boring couple in Fairmont Crest says their I do's, and BTG fans need to brace for some wedding drama up ahead. In other news, Vernon will be quick to stop some sort of intruder during Monday's show. Who will attempt to break into the Dupree mansion on September 15th? Could Vernon get hurt trying to stop an attack? Everyone's on edge since Chelsea Hamilton's kidnapping, so here's hoping this is all just a false alarm or misunderstanding. In other news, Beyond the Gates spoilers for Monday suggest self-doubt will plague June as she starts her new job. June is desperately trying to write a new chapter in her life, so will past demons jeopardize her success? Lastly, Eva Thomas will be caught off guard when she sees her dad, Ted Richardson, in distress. This week's preview for the CBS soap shows Ted stumbling into his hotel room with a glaze over his eyes, and he almost seems drugged or drunk. Is this the state Eva will find him in? The promo also shows Leslie Thomas taking advantage of Ted in this state, and the two will seemingly end up in bed together. Will Leslie drug Ted on purpose, or just be in the right place at the right time? Will the two do the deed, or will Leslie make it seem like they did? Beyond the Gates spoilers remind viewers that Leslie is still pressed about how Ted duped her with his promise of giving her his family home, so it would be no shocker if this is the way she repays him for his actions. Beyond the Gates spoilers for the week of September 15th 19th note that Leslie Thomas and Ted Richardson will share a romantic evening, while Bill Hamilton catches his wife, Haley Hamilton, with Thomas Navarro. The BTG promo video for the next 5 days has dropped, and it opens with a clip of Danny Dupree and Andre Richardson sharing drinks. She chooses napkin A, and it's clear that the twosome is deciding to go on an impromptu trip. Andre's written down 2 destinations and folded them, and Danny's choice results in Vegas. As they celebrate their impending vacay, Danny states, "Life goes boom," as Andre replies, "We go boom." As scenes shift, Martin Richardson is shown next with Bradley Smitty Smith in their home. The two are sharing a moment as Smitty relays that just now felt like old times again. He goes on to say, "Like the man I fell in love with," as Martin notes. But it's not enough, is it? The Beyond the Gates preview progresses, and fans see Haley sitting on a chair in her living room, dangerously close to Tomas. As he's talking, she notes that she's never seen this side of him before, and she likes it, just as she places her hand affectionately on his arm. Of course, Bill walks in on the two and doesn't look pleased. The next clip reveals a disheveled Ted, looking glazed over, walking into his hotel room as an upbeat Leslie asks him to, "Come over here and help me with this." She's lightly pulling him to the bed with his tie as he stumbles along. The scene quickly shifts to one of Anita Dupree clicking wine glasses with Nicole Richardson at the Dupree mansion. Nicole states, "To knocking down that scheme and praying that Leslie hasn't already thought of another idea to screw with us." The final clip is of Leslie and Ted in bed together, in the dark, seemingly after they've done the deed, as Leslie tells Ted, "Wakey, wakey, teddy bear." Beyond the Gates spoilers remind fans that these previews can be a bit misleading, so will Leslie and Ted hit the sheets next week, or could this all be a dream? Please note that if you purchase something by clicking on a link within this story, we may receive a small commission of the sale. After ensuring Bill's persistent wife isn't with him, Danny allows Bill to join her table as she waits for her breakfast companion at the country club. They worry over Chelsea while, in her bedroom, Naomi tries to bolster her sister's confidence. Naomi encourages Chelsea not to give up her influencer career out of fear, thereby giving Allison power over her. At the hospital, Andre gets a "Where are you?" text from a hungry Danny. He types on his phone and then asks Ashley about Derek, who eavesdrops from his wheelchair behind them. Derek leaves after Ashley states how awful it would have been for him had she and Andre coupled up. What he doesn't hear is that she's been reminded of why she fell in love with him in the first place, but it's probably best he missed their wistful talk of how she made Andre want to be a better person, and how he changed Ashley's perspective on life. When Ashley visits Derek in his hospital room, he stays mum about what he overheard. What he does discuss is the blessing in disguise that his accident was because it brought them back together. Ashley brings up alternate universes and what-ifs, but the only world Derek wants is the one with her in it. Ashley doesn't quite seem to share the sentiment as she pastes on a smile and goes back to work. Back at the club, Bill and Danny share close moments discussing their daughters until she accuses him of using her to keep from going home. She suggests he bring his wife jewelry for telling her to stay out of family business during Chelsea's kidnapping crisis. They laugh over Danny's motto, "If it doesn't cost a week's salary, the apology wasn't sincere," when Andre shows up. "You're in my seat." Bill bristles and exchanges tense words with Danny, and leaves. Eva interrupts Tomas and Kat getting their flirt on at Orphe Jeans. She tries to apologize for Leslie trying to buy a house close to Kat's family, but Kat will hear none of it. When an exasperated Eva moves to a booth, Tomas calls Kat a mean girl, which leads her to double down on the vitriol she spews about her half-sister. "Take your pity for that basic bitch and choke on it," Kat declares before storming out. Ashley hightails it to Orphe Jeans to confess to her mother she can't shake the electricity between her and Andre. Derek is what she thought she always wanted, but Andre makes her consider a future she never imagined. Her mother makes the case for the sure thing versus potential, even if that potential sets Ashley's mind on fire. Samantha brings a cute and charming boy to Chelsea Cat headquarters to work on an English project, which she's basically already done for the both of them. To show his appreciation, he invites her to one of his and his cousin's exclusive events they throw as a side hustle. Free of charge, of course, and VIP treatment, but it would also be a boon for them to have a model on site. Plus, they could hang out in a different environment together. Kat comes home to find Samantha kissing her classmate and promptly kicks the boy out. Kat chastises her niece, who begs her not to tell her dads. Kat agrees, but declares this can never happen again, but it does immediately when Samantha invites the boy back over. If you're wondering where Aunt Kat is, well, she returns to Orphe Jeans after Samantha says she reminded her of how her pop can get sometimes. Kat stands in the doorway and observes what the audience has for weeks, Tomas and Eva's developing bond. He tells her what a good person she is and takes her hands in his, which is when Kat makes her exit, unnoticed. Bill awkwardly settles his towering frame onto a low footstool in Naomi's bedroom. As he gets caught up on his daughter's lives, he states he's going to be so involved, they'll be begging him for space. Chelsea and Naomi share knowing sisterly grins. In his hospital room, Derek presses his fist into his thigh when Ashley returns. He tries to tell her something she'll never believe, but she has something more urgent to say. Everything always leads her back to him. He is where she belongs, and she wants to build a beautiful, meaningful life with him. She gets on one knee and asks him to marry her. Here's your Beyond the Gates weekly recap for the episodes that aired September 8-12, 2025. On Beyond the Gates, Allison came after Chelsea with the butcher knife, but Chelsea got the upper hand and choked her captor with her chains as Jacob burst in with Kat and Madison and arrested Allison. The Duprees wanted to celebrate Chelsea's rescue, but Chelsea became overwhelmed by all the attention. Nicole surmised that Chelsea was suffering from post-traumatic stress. After Chelsea lamented nearly becoming a killer, she confronted Allison at the police station, only for Allison to smirk that she had given Chelsea the viral content she craved. When Allison asked Naomi to represent her in court, Jacob had to keep Naomi from attacking her. Examining how her heavy social media presence had caused Allison's obsession with her, Chelsea was ready to delete all her accounts, but Danny and Kat suggested that Chelsea use her influence to support anti-violence initiatives instead. Bill felt closer to both his daughters after Chelsea's ordeal and vowed to pay more attention to them. After Leslie gloated to Nicole that Ted had given her his house, Nicole informed Leslie that she actually owned the home and that Ted had tricked her into not buying the property across the street from the Duprees. Leslie confronted Ted, later bursting into tears with Eva that she was enough of a somebody to live in Fairmont Crest. Eva was so upset with Ted's deception that she went to Tomas, who was surprised that Eva wanted him to go up against his own boss, Bill, in court on Leslie's behalf. Ted repeatedly told Nicole about how he had helped her by stopping Leslie from becoming a neighbor, but Nicole felt he only wanted praise. Undaunted, Ted approached the Duprees with the news, enraging Nicole and inspiring her family to lay down monetary bets against him. Leslie saw through Vanessa's attempts to block her from putting another bid on the house she wanted and threatened to publicly accuse the realtor of racial discrimination. If she didn't fast-track its sale, Leslie upped the ante by doubling her offer. As Chelsea was checked out at the hospital following her rescue, Haley continued to be shut out by Bill and the Duprees. Nicole, Naomi, and Chelsea all noticed that Bill and Danny seemed to be bonding, with Naomi demanding to know what Bill's intentions were toward her mother. Haley fought with Bill over his continuing to dismiss her. Haley then schemed with Caroline to sucker Tomas into helping her make Bill jealous. Out of self-preservation, Randy decided not to help Doug with Joey's downfall after all. Doug concurred because he himself had chosen to back off after his talk with Vanessa, whom he wanted to take on a second honeymoon. Meanwhile, Joey was cold to Vanessa because of how she'd broken things off with him, but eventually the two became passionate again, which Doug saw. Once Martin took more responsibility regarding his secrecy about Kenneth, Smitty let Martin into their bedroom, but after the estranged marrieds made love, Smitty still couldn't forgive Martin or trust him, relegating him to the couch and regretting having given Martin mixed signals. Samantha received her first kiss from a boy with whom she'd been paired to do an English project. Kat caught them and promised not to tell Martin and Smitty as long as Samantha fessed up to her dad's on her own. But as soon as Kat left, Samantha invited the boy back, determined to pick up where they'd left off. Derek seemed to regain some feeling in his legs, but chose to be secretive about it. Shanice and Ashley patched up their friendship after they'd sparred over Derek, who overheard Ashley telling Andre that they would probably be together if they hadn't had their misunderstanding about Danny. Ashley recoiled when Derek pronounced her his one and only, going to Jan and admitting she was still tempted by Andre. Afterwards, Ashley interrupted Derek's attempt to tell her about his progress by proposing to him. Andre was once again jealous when he found Danny and Bill in cordial conversation. Danny sent Bill away and got naked with Andre. Tomas and Kat were affectionate until she blew up about Eva. Later, after Tomas confessed to Eva that he was getting tired of Kat's hostility, Kat caught them holding hands. Meanwhile, Joey needs to watch out for Doug and Vanessa. Next week on Beyond the Gates, certain characters will be rocked by what they see, while others will rethink their perspectives. In addition, Haley's plan to make Bill jealous gets underway. And Nicole learns something deeply disturbing. Is this about her soon-to-be ex? In general, the matriarch and patriarch of the Duprees are seriously worried about the state of their family. Well, what are they going to do about that? They are not passive people, after all. Vernon and Anita get things done. Vernon springs into action to thwart an interloper. Derek has a big decision to make regarding his future. Eva is rocked to see her father in such distress. June's new job has her doubting herself. Nicole debates her treatment of Ted while he deals with an unwelcome reality. Tyrell and Samantha clash, which leaves Martin and Smitty to deal with the fallout. Leslie one-ups the Duprees. Naomi and Jacob help a friend. Haley hatches a seductive plan to spark some jealousy. Ashley drops an unexpected bombshell on Andre. Anita proposes a game-changing idea to help Kat and Chelsea. Tomas has big plans for a romantic evening with Kat. Andre has a mysterious challenge for Danny. Vanessa is stunned by Joey's offer. Doug has uncovered a way to make the casino kingpin pay for his sins. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.